All right, so Fraendy, we're coming on the heels of Trayvon Martin, the anniversary. It's been a year later, and I know there was a big remembrance celebration down there and a weekend that happened, and you traveled all the way down to Florida. Tell me how the atmosphere is there and just being there for that Remembrance Day and seeing people rally. What's the feeling there?
It was almost surreal, honestly, to be there. And just to backtrack just a little bit, the reason why I was even down there, because I'm familiar with the area. I'm from Miami, and I actually went to the same high school, Dr. Michael M. Crop Senior High School, the high school that Trayvon Martin was enrolled at the time of the shooting. So I had an opportunity to know certain people in the community, and those individuals were able to, you know, get me in touch with his mother. And of course, you know, throughout the time when I found out that there was going to be a Remembrance Day rally and even a week of events, well, a weekend of events for him, that's when I tried to get in touch with his family. And it was pretty, you know, of course, difficult at the time, just trying to get in touch. And of course, all the emotions for the family, having to deal with, you know, the death of their son. And that weekend, the reason why they had those events, his birthday was that week, so he would have turned 18. So his parents wanted to remember him by having a peace rally, a peace march, and also as well as a dinner. And even though they had quite a number of celebrities that were there, but the focus was really on Trayvon. And just being back in that atmosphere, you know, being back in that area in Miami where I was raised, and to see the community hurting, that was one thing for me that really, really, you know, pulled on the heartstrings. And to see these individuals or people, I'm like, wow, this could have been someone I knew, you know, because we're talking about the same high school, you know, the same community where I was from. And so seeing everybody there marching peacefully, that was the most important thing too.
Like one common goal, to remember Trayvon.
Exactly. And what they wanted was everyone to know, they kept talking about it's not a black or white issue, it's a right or wrong issue. And of course, you know, going back, you know, in the wake of the Trayvon Martin shooting would happen, you know, many people were thrown off because it was like, you know, hey, this guy admitted, George Zimmerman, you know, said that, you know, he had to, you know, defend himself against Trayvon because Zimmerman said that, you know, Trayvon attacked him. So many people are like, you know, this guy said that he did this and he's scot-free, nothing's happening. So of course, with all the media picking up on this story, they were able to charge Zimmerman, and so now he's being faced with that. Of course, he's still accused at this point. But then going back to the weekend of events, his mother,
that's what I was going to say. What was she? How is she dealing with it still? I mean, because that was the week of her son's birthday. And
I asked her that question. I was like, you know, how are you holding up? And then she said this. She said, Fraendy, I'm holding up with God and the support of the people around me. And you could see the love they had for Miss Fulton. You know, when she came on to the stage and starting to address the crowd, it was like almost like a wow.
Like a calm,
and everyone, she was like, you know, I want to thank you all for the support. She was like, you know, Trayvon is not just my son, everyone's son, because Trayvon Martin has become a fixture for so many people, not just in the African American community, because we're talking about other communities. You know, the whole hoodie situation now, when many people, you see a hoodie now, you think of Trayvon. Right, and so many people, African Americans wear hoodies, Caucasians wear hoodies, anybody can wear a hoodie. And so his mother basically talked about Trayvon's legacy, Trayvon's life, and the importance, and, you know, of her dealing and coping with the situation. Jamie Foxx is there.
Now, how was that? I mean, because Jamie Foxx he's been very vocal when it came to this case. What was it like having him there, and for the community, I guess, to see that star power come in on such a national topic, for him to come in? And I don't know if he was the only celebrity, but what was it like talking to him, and what were the main points he was talking about?
It was interesting to see how you could feel that he was genuinely concerned about the Trayvon Martin case and his family. It wasn't like he was just there, oh, this is my 15 seconds of fame. I'm here to put a face to a cause and that's it. Because the reason how he got involved with the family, he actually he was telling the story at the rally, he wore a Trayvon Martin shirt on a red carpet event.
Wow.
And it was tweeted out, and many people were like, wow, Jamie Foxx has on a Trayvon Martin shirt. So that was tweeted out, you know, and through that he was able to get in touch with the lawyers, Trayvon Martin's family's lawyers, and then they got in touch with the family, and so now he's become like one of their helpers really getting the case pushed forth. Right. And so he's using his star power to keep the message going on about Trayvon. When I spoke with him, he was willing to speak, even though he had a pretty busy schedule, but he stopped for a moment. He was like, this is about our children. He said, just a few weeks ago, we had Sandy Hook, the massacre there. He talked about the Aurora shooting. And he said, we have to wrap our arms around our kids, because he's like, that could have been anyone's child. He talked about him, Jamie Foxx, his daughter. He talked about his very own children. And he's like, what if this was my own child? And Absolutely. So you could feel that it was piercing and that he was serious about being there.
And he took it personal.
Right.
And kind of almost put star power aside, it seemed like. Just hearing him from your piece that ran.
Oh, yeah.
That he was just a normal person that was just concerned. And something needed to be done.
Really, really was concerned. And it was good also to see the young people who were involved in this march. And just as a journalist, me trying to chronicle everything, using the camera, I got to get these shots, I got to get this person, I got to get this angle, and to see all these different individuals who took the time out to come, and a peaceful march at that.
That's true.
Now, there were police officers there, of course, to control the public in case if anything were to go bad, but everyone was peaceful, everyone was respectable, no one said anything out, that was bad or against the movement that they were trying to portray. Then afterwards as well, that next day on Sunday, there was a dinner held in remembrance of Trayvon as well. Okay. So just trying to bring to forefront the need for awareness of Trayvon Martin in his case.
Wow, so full weekend of remembrance. Yes. Anything else planned or scheduled or coming up with this?
Well, coming up, the trial has been set for June the 10th. And that's going to be the opening arguments, and all that's going to come forth about that. Of course, the trial about his shooting death, George Zimmerman. Yeah. And one thing, too, which I learned, which was quite interesting when I got in touch with Zimmerman's attorneys, they're not using the stand your ground law to fight this case. They're saying that this is a traditional self-defense claim, because what they're saying is that according to them, because Trayvon was striking blows to Zimmerman and attacking him, then it shows that it's a traditional self-defense claim, which is pretty interesting because in the wake of all of this, all we heard initially was stand your ground, which caused many states like South Carolina to start looking at their very own laws. Yeah, and so just hearing that was pretty interesting, and the trial date June the 10th. Okay. So we could see what's going to happen there.
Definitely. Well, I'm so glad that you went down there and got that exclusive look at how a community still hurting but managed to come together for that weekend for Trayvon.
Absolutely. It was really a life-changing event, and it's something I could say that I won't forget.